So, it's been a long ass time since I've played in the overused tier, and today I woke up and was like, you know what, I'm gonna play with some power today. So that's what we've got, a nice OU match here against Ari. This is a team that I threw together, basically just kind of consisting of some of my favorite Pokemon in OU. Obviously, I gotta have that Mega Pinsir on there, along with some stuff like Focus Sash, Alakazam, best revenge killer ever. Then I've also got a Heatran. I haven't used that thing since like Gen 5, and yeah, so overall this team is pretty fun to use. The first thing I noticed about my opponent's team is this man is not holding back. He came at me with both Tapu Bulu and Finny, along with a Kartana and a Heatran, so that shit's gonna be pretty damn difficult. I also noticed Mega Medicham, so this should be a pretty good battle, and let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so first of all, I realized he's probably gonna lead off with that Heatran, so I decided to toss out my Greninja, basically just to scare this thing out. I am pretty worried about Stealth Rock on this team. Mega Pinsir doesn't really enjoy that, and I also noticed that Mega Pinsir does very well against his team, so at all costs I do want to make sure he doesn't get those rocks up, and I lead off with Greninja for that reason. So I go for the U-turn on the first turn. I figure he's not really going to want to stay in against me, so I'm able to get a nice pivot against this Bulu here, who comes in, throws some grass on the old battlefield, and now we're looking, you know, environmentally friendly. So I'm able to go into whatever I want, and I decided to go into Pinsir early. Just to kind of see what his answer is for this thing, essentially. So, Dick Pinch comes in, ready to absolutely take some lives, as I am going to Mega Evolve first turn, and he is going to bring in the Finny against this thing. So, gets rid of the grass immediately, instead tosses out the Misty Surge, so it's like a damn rave out here. The battlefield ends up switching colors so many damn times. It's been so long since I've played OU that I like completely forgot that these battlefield abilities are even a thing. But I am going to Mega Evolve here. I hit this thing with a return, which obviously because of Aerolite is going to be a flying move, so I get that stab. And it is going to do over half, which is amazing. And I'm really hoping that that's not going to be a max damage. So I decided to end up switching out. I know that Pinsir is going to be useful later, so I tuck that guy in the old back pocket as I'm going to bring in the Magnezone as he ends up going for the Nature's Madness. So that does do 50% of your health every time, obviously, and I am able to get a nice little pivot here again. He doesn't have anything to block a Volt Switch, so I'm just going to go ahead and click that, and he actually ends up going for the Protect there, I guess just kind of scouting out what I'm going to go for. But either way, he's kind of pushed into a corner here because he can't stay in because a Specs Volt Switch will knock this thing out, so he is forced to switch out here, which is going to give me a matchup. So things are going pretty swimmingly here so far as he decides to bring back in the Bulu, so tosses out the Grassy Surge yet again. And this is fine by me because I can go into, I have a number of different things for this. I have Greninja with Gunk Shot. Obviously Pinsir knocks this thing out with a return. And seeing as I was already able to knock that Finny down to half, Pinsir kind of has free range here to get some shit going. So I'm just going to end up going for the return. I thought about going for a Swords Dance here. I could potentially sweep had I gone for a Swords Dance, but I figured it's too early in the match to start setting up. So I just go for the return. It does knock that thing out as he doesn't have anything to switch into. And now he's going to bring in his Clefable here. So I do decide to switch because I don't really want to get paralyzed. I'm thinking he's probably going to go for a Thunder Wave. So I decide to switch back into my Magnezone as he actually ends up going for a Fire Blast. And luckily for me, he actually ends up missing it. So that's pretty unlucky on his end. But Fire Blast, you know, it does that. So that's a bummer. But now he's going to go into the Heatran here as I just go for the Flash Cannon. Trying to play it safe, thinking maybe he'll stay in. But he does realize that Clefable is really the only thing that can live an attack from Mega Pinsir. So he is going to conserve that as Heatran comes in here pretty nicely. I can't really touch this thing at all. I'm locked into Flash Cannon here. And I also know that he's definitely going to want to go ahead and set up the Stealth Rock here, seeing as how scary my Pinsir is to his team. He's going to want to get those rocks up to limit my switches. And I am going to make the risky play and switch in my Pinsir to avoid that damage there, because it does do 50% to me. And unfortunately, I'm an idiot and I forgot to make this thing's HP an odd number, so I actually can't switch in twice. But I go for an Earthquake here, as I know that's going to be able to knock that thing out, just playing it safe, and that is going to be a dead Fire Frog, or whatever the hell Heatran's supposed to be. But yeah, so that thing goes down. Pinsir's looking pretty nice here, as now he goes into the Kartana. I'm assuming this thing is probably going to be Choice Scarf, so I'm about to get nice and chopsticked here as he goes for the Smart Strike. Luckily, I am able to take at least one of those, which is nice because I avoided that Stealth Rock damage. I would have actually died to that, but I go for the return. It does do enough to put it in range for Quick Attack, so Quick Attack is going to be able to take this thing out, and my first battle back with Mega Pinsir is proven to be pretty damn nice. So I missed you, buddy. But now he brings back in the Clefable. I can't switch out because I can't come in on more Stealth Rock damage. So I just go for the return there. It does knock this thing down to red, and that allows him to finish me off with a Thunderbolt. But Pinsir absolutely thrashed the shit out of this team, and now the rest of my boys should be able to kind of clean up here. So I'm going to go into the Serial Killer, bring in Alakazam, who obviously is going to be able to finish this thing off with a Psyshock. So down goes the big pink piece of chewed bubblegum, and now he's going to bring in the Medicham, which I am actually a little bit afraid of this thing, but I also am Focus Sash, so not being able to take the Stealth Rock damage due to the Magic Guard ability makes Alakazam a fantastic revenge killer, because that Focus Sash is going to stay intact pretty much the whole battle here, as I am going to go ahead and hit this thing with a Shadow Ball. I actually outspeed, and that knocks it down to red, as now he's able to fire off a high jump kick, which is going to knock me out, but I've got that Focus Sash, so that's perfect. Unfortunately, though, these things do generally carry priority with Bullet Punch, so he is able to go for that, and that's going to knock me out. But Alakazam kind of did its job in being able to knock that thing into easily killable range. So I do have the boy Nudes on my team, which actually is not Shuckle, but it's Bigger Nudes, which is my Tangrowth here. And I can take any attack from this thing because I am bold max defense. So he just goes for a high jump kick. I am able to take that just barely, and I'm able to then fire off a Giga Drain, which does knock out the Nipple Knee over there. So that thing, honestly, I haven't seen a Mega Medicham in forever, but they are pretty damn threatening. So it's good to see that thing gone. And Nudie Boy is just over here dancing around, having a swell time, as his last Pokemon is going to be this Tapu Fini. So this thing comes in, makes everything nice and pink, and I don't feel like it's worth saving Tangrowth here. I decided to just sack this thing off because I do have some answers to this. I allow him to hit me with a Moonblast, and that is going to take me out. So sorry, Nudes, but I guess you were helpful against that there Medicham. So now all I really got to do is kill this damn Tapu Fini. So I decided to go into my Greninja, mostly because I'm going to be able to Protein into Gunk Shot, and then his Moonblast won't do shit. So he actually ends up going for the Protect, just wants to see what I'm going to go for. I am Choice Scarf, so I kind of just lock myself into the Gunk Shot there, turn into a Poison type, and unfortunately he is wearing a condom for the protection against my Gunk Shot, so that's gonna not really work out there. So it's gonna go for another one here. I end up missing, which is like, what the hell? And that allows him to go for a Nature's Madness. The good news about that is that it can only do about half to me, so it obviously does half of your remaining HP, which is nice. So I take that, and now I'm just gonna go for another Gunk Shot, but he protects. And at this point, I think after this one, I only have like one Gunk Shot left, maybe two. I'm not really sure. I think at this point I have two left. But he's over here eating some damn leftovers, and I'm just going to stay in, go for another one. Yeah, I have two left at this point. I unfortunately didn't max out my PP on this Greninja, so one Gunk Shot isn't quite going to be able to knock this thing out. It leaves it with yellow there, and that allows him to go for a Moonblast just to get as much damage as possible. I do live it with red, but then I realize he's just going to go for a Protect here to stall out, and then I won't have another Gunk Shot. So I do kind of have to end up switching out here, and I'm having more trouble against this damn Tapu Fini than I expected because that first Gunk Shot missed. But I'm going to go ahead and switch right into my Heatran. I know that this thing can't really knock me out, and worst case scenario, I can just go ahead and get a Toxic on this thing and then slowly whittle it down because he can't switch out or anything, so that should kind of solidify the fact that this thing is going to die. As I'm actually especially defensive Heatran, so I take Moonblast very well, and all he really has against me is Nature's Madness, as I come to find out. So he is going to go for that, knocking me down to about half, as I'm then just going to go ahead and fire off a nice little Toxic, and that is pretty much going to solidify the end for this damn fairy whale thing. Narwhal looking motherfucker, but leftovers are still happening because this damn thing just does not want to die. And honestly, I salute you though, Tapu Fini. You really kind of lasted here. So the Toxic's doing its thing, gonna make my life a whole lot easier, as now all I can really do is just go for some Earth Powers, as he's just gonna continue to go for some Nature's Madness. This Heatran doesn't have any special attack investment, so it's not able to do too much, but it is gonna knock it into range where this Poison will be able to finish it off, I guess, in the next couple turns. But he's actually not able to knock me out because all he has against me is gonna be that Nature's Madness. So freaking finally, it looks like one more Earth Power is going to be able to finish this thing off as I take one more attack from it, and the Cookie Boy is going to come out on top. So that is going to be the end of the match there. I thought that was a pretty fun one. As I was looking at the team preview, I was pretty damn scared of this team because, like I said, I don't play a whole lot of OU, and just seeing all these Tapus and legendaries and shit is just pretty damn scary. But my boy Pinsir came in clutch, so hit that like button for that, homie, and I will be back with a couple more OU Wi-Fi battles pretty soon. Peace out, guys.